Today we're going to be talking about the inverse of a relation. And the inverse of a relation just basically switches the x and y values, and it switches the domain and the range. A graph and its inverse are a reflection across the line y equals x. And so if you're wondering what that looks like, I'm just going to see if I can. Y equals x is actually this line right here, because y and x will have the same value. I'm not drawing it perfectly, but you get the idea here. So anyway, let's go ahead and graph the inverse of the polygon with the vertices located at 5, -1, -2, 3, and 3, -7. So first of all, let's see what that's going to look like. So if we have 5, -1, we go to the right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 1. -2, 3, we go to the left 2, and I'm sorry, and down and up 3. And 3, -7 means we go to the right 3 and down 7. So we get this triangle here. And what we want to do now is we want to graph the inverse of that. So basically we're going to switch the x and the y. So instead of having 5, -1, we're going to have -1, 5. Instead of having -2, 3, we're going to have 3, -2. And instead of having 3, -7, we're going to have -7, 3. So, and this will be the inverse. So let's go ahead and graph that. So if we have -1, 5, we go to the left 1 and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, -2, we go to the right 3 and down 2. -7, 3, we go to the left 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and up 3. So now if we connect those, you notice that we still, it's the same image, but it's just reflected across this line right here I'm pointing to in the red. Okay, that's the line y equals x. Notice if you have the line y equals x, x and y are always going to have the same value. So for instance, it goes through the point 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and so on. Okay, so let's move on. Let's find the inverse of y equals 3x plus 6. Now, the only thing we're going to do is interchange the x and the y. So instead of having y equals 3x plus 6, we're going to have x equals 3y plus 6. And then we just solve it for y, which we've done with literal equations. So let's do that. So if we want to solve for y, we start by subtracting 6 from each side. So we have x minus 6 equals 3y. And now we want to get y alone, so we're going to divide everything by 3. So the 3's will cancel, and we have y equals x minus 6 over 3. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually, this is perfectly acceptable, but if you want to divide each term by 3, you can. So you could divide x by 3, and then you could divide 6 by 3. And if you did that, you would have x over 3 minus 2 equals y. Either one of these are exactly the same. Okay? But either one of these is the inverse of that original the original equation here. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today. That is all.